Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Rob, Dan, Ivan, Don, Diane, Craig, Jerry, Scott, Mad, Everett, Kimberly, my favorite subscriber, General Rush, good to see you, Joseph, Ed, Gary, Cliff, Ted, B, Keaton, Aki, Wrongamer, spicy morning so far. Spicy. Be careful, trade deal. Like, we just popped right to the limit of the danger zone. We'll talk about that here in a minute. My 50K challenge up on the screen here, going pretty well, as you can see. Haven't booked a loss. Not bad. $2,000 profit this month so far. Not bad. Not bad at all. And for those of you that would want to see the entire account for all the history of the account, there it is. We can look at the, you see, I haven't really used this account for years. Going back, I played with it back in COVID times and left it for dead, refunded it, and now there you go. Why didn't I do that before? Wasn't the goal before, so there you go. And if you pop on K-Info, you join up, you can get the trades, you can get the details, you can see the stuff if you want to see it right there. I'll throw the link for my profile into the chat. Right there. There you go. All right. That's interesting. It didn't throw the link in. There it goes. All right. Moving on. Prescription drugs coming out this morning that, well, I guess late last night, Trump was tweeting this or posting or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I don't know what you call it these days. Putting on social media a big thing about trying to reduce prescription drugs by upwards of 80%. Got to do that by, and for those of you who haven't seen this thing, here you go. This is what he put out 6 p.m. last night. I think that was Eastern time. And basically what he's looking at doing, when you break this down, we don't have the executive order. Well, I didn't have it as of a few minutes ago, but what he's looking at doing, saying that drug prices in the U.S. can be no higher than the lowest price available anywhere in the world in other countries. So, like insulin, if a company's selling insulin for $5 a vial in whatever Africa, it's now $5 a vial here in the United States, and or so there's two effects here. One, prices are going to go up across the world, and two, prices probably come down some in the United States. And we've seen it where prices in the United States were absurdly high, like $300 for something, where you could buy it for dollars, pennies on the dollar somewhere, some other country, and that's why you get like medical tourism and stuff like that. So this is an effort to try to combat that. Right way, wrong way, I don't know. We're seeing some big pharma taking a hit across the board this morning on that kind of news. So I guess when the executive order gets published out, we'll kind of see what happens. So far, yeah, I still don't have it on my feed. He was supposed to sign it at 9 this morning. Of course, Trump time, so he's probably going to do a big press conference while I'm live here. So, maybe by the time I'm done, we'll actually get that. And I guess without further ado, all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Doing this thing we do, you might lose money. Past performance, not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation intended to be informational, educational, fun, entertaining, not a recommendation to be buying or selling any financial instruments. If you desire personal financial advice, hire and consult a financial advisor. Be careful. I'm thinking we're in a pop and drop situation. Be very, very careful. Looking at the calendar this week. Monday, pretty benign. Tuesday, CPI. Right there. Wednesday. That's interesting. PPI is not with CPI. Something's up. PPI on Thursday. And retail sales. That's weird. Something's up with these numbers. They're doing something funny with the numbers. Big OPEX on Friday. We may kind of hover through Friday. These super bearish numbers will come out on Friday. And this has been running. Look at this. Inflation expectation 6.8. Yet CPI, wish we had the year over year, has not been, that's PPI. CPI year over year, there we go. Not ramping up. In fact, it's going down. Tale of two stories right there. Tale of two diverging stories. So this is a prediction, expectation, versus what we've actually got going on via the government. Are they telling the truth? Are they full of bularchy? I don't know. You know, government numbers are always kind of full of bularchy, but we're sitting at 2.4, expecting 6.7. Dangerous. Yeah, gold getting destroyed, of course. The destroyed is all relative, but is that a surprise to anybody that's been here the last few mornings? I mean, destroyed. How is it destroyed? I mean, we're not even at a lower low yet, but there's what I drew. Anybody surprised? Kind of funny, right? Funny how this works out. Make a prediction. Sometimes it comes true. Didn't quite get down to the low. I mean, let's see. Did we actually make a lower low? We don't have to get down to this level. It just needs to be a lower low. So low here, 3209.40. Low here, 3211.20. So not a lower low so far. I wouldn't buy gold. I'm short gold right now. So what is the expectation for gold? This is the expectation for gold. As outlined and talked about the last couple of days and weeks, that's where gold is probably going, right down there, over the next few months. So there you go. Could I be wrong? Absolutely. Absolutely. Look at the futures. We're kind of up in the top of the danger zone. I made a little shy there. Should be right up to that 50% or 786 level right there. We're right up to the top. We've seen the market doing this a lot where we step just across that 786 line and then reverse hard. We've seen that on dozens and dozens of charts in the last few weeks. Got to be very, very careful here. This is a time for extreme caution. This was an outsized move off of that last pullback. Be very, very careful. We are likely to get a massive retrace. Just clean this up just a hair. I took off the 786. This retrace can take us right back down here. So the nature of the next pullback tells the story. Is it a 3-wave or is it a 5-wave? 3-wave, better. This, not good. If we do a 5-wave down, that sets up the bigger move for this down here. So the next correction, if it's 5 waves down into here, 3-wave up. That sets up this move right there. Be very, very careful here. Maybe like, I don't see the scenario where that happens. You don't have to. All right, you don't have to. It's not a news thing. It's a chart thing. Now, if we do a corrective move, 3 waves down, potential 5 waves up, 3 waves down, then we set up the potential pop to a new all-time high. This is the preferred path for me. I prefer that one, but I'm very much aware of the potential risks to go down below 4,000 on the chart, because this is a setup. If you thought this was a crash, we have this sitting here. This is a crash pattern. If we go down, up, stop at a 618, retrace with a 3-wave up after a 5 down, this is a crash setup right there. Like, talking about Black Monday, cyber, Black Monday, yeah, like 1987 style crash, COVID crash potential. Talking about flush outs from the housing crisis. Some of those big moves we did back here in 2011, 2012, this kind of thing. You may be like, you may be sitting here going, I don't think so. One of these. Possibly one of these. Golly. One of these right here. Set it up in the charts, so be careful. See, look how close this looks to what we're doing right now. Move down, move up. We even did that double bottom thing. This is really dangerous. We didn't come up quite as high there. Looks to me a lot more like this one. Maybe. It's quite possible. This is what we did. See this giant move up we just did? Very similar to this, what we're doing today. Bleed off, pop a higher high. This is where it gets eerily similar. Look at that, right up through the 786, pushed up to a higher high, and then that led to, oh man, whew. So be very careful here. We may go pop a higher high, and that could lead to a big down. Anyway, I expect a correction off of this before we go higher high, but we could just pop here, ride a few days, and pop even higher. It's possible. Anything's possible. Anything is possible. Wow, that's a lot of alerts. A lot of stuff rolling off. Russell. This is what scares me. Right into the danger zone. Russell is setting up for a crash. This one may be more reliable. Potential to buy a switch to an IWM. Golly, that's a lot of alerts. Probably gonna flood out the bot. Be careful trading those. We can get a pop and drop very quickly. So there it loaded. And we've got this danger zone right here. If we reject off of it, so if you wanted to cover this next move, this potential next move down, let's check it out in the options. I'd probably go out to probably fly out to September at this point. Maybe like, well, that's a little crazy. Yeah, maybe. See, we're at 209. Probably buy a 190. If you, well, that's $5. Let's see. Buy a 180, $3. 150. That's $30. Yeah, 30. So $2 risk and $30 upside. That'd be a pretty good one. So buy a 180, sell a 150. If you need to reduce the cost on it, be $2 max risk, lose 200 and whatever bucks, and then $30 upside. Be a pretty spicy one right there. Then even if we were to push a little higher on Russell, still get that one. Still catch that one. Potential is to come all the way down here. Be pretty wild. Wild one. So the list had like 400 tickers on it for gainers and decliners. That's wild. Might be, I think it's the biggest list we've had. Oil still churning in here. We're below the low we struck back in 2023. That can reject. Be careful here. If we start breaking out, come up to the roadmap line and back test this. Probably going higher. We didn't make the lower low on this pop right there. Pop down. We made a higher low. So this is bullish, even though it pushed it to extreme. This is a bullish potential setup. But we've got to clear this, all this resistance here. We've got to clear that, and clear this prior low. Roadmap line, downtrend highs. Got to clear all that stuff to get the move up, back up into the 90s, possibly 105, or right around 100 is the 618 retrace. So just like the S&P has the danger zone, this one has a danger zone right up here, right around 100 at this point. For a long time, I was expecting 105, but then we made the lower low and it pulled this fib line down just a little bit, about $5. Gold, as I kind of alluded to a moment ago, big picture, I expect lower. In the near term, we'll probably get some chop before we do the big flush out into the summer. So we may dip in here. I do expect a lower low sometime in the next few days. Then we'll probably do this choppy thing, come back up to that 618 level, which will move over if we dip down here, pull down like this. It'd be a 3-wave down, 3-wave up, probably hit that 3,400 area again, maybe as high as 3,440. And then we'll probably start on this next down, probably make another dip back in. It'll seem like support. We'll hit it 1, 2, 3. Be like, yeah, we're going to go higher. And then we'll rally up and then we'll flush it out. That's kind of what I see on gold. We'll see if it actually plays out. It can always do whatever it wants to do. This is the move that's set up, though. Bigger picture correction. Bitcoin, this might be the market tell right here. Yeah, it was getting spicy when it reopened. Now getting rejected. Be careful here. That's the futures. Looking at the spot market. An inability to push through this zone is indicating to me, and we came right up to that 105 resistance. We had this 105 level that I was saying, talking about before. We poked right up into this, and a retrace would not surprise me one bit. Now, there is still the possibility we rally on up to 115. We sit here for a couple days, we pop 115, and then do a retrace. So, 120 also in the cards. 115, 120. I was looking for that level all the way back, beginning of the year as a resistance zone. Still expect that to be resistance. It's just like pull back now and then rip through it, or pull back after we just pop it now. Not sure which way it's going to go. Do expect a pullback. If you want to lighten up or book some profits, I wouldn't blame you. Ethereum sitting here, consolidating right on top of the roadmap line. Now, when Bitcoin does the next pullback, what happens here is going to be very important. If we pull back in kind of a three-wave manner, sets up the bigger catch-up trade on Ethereum. If we come off of this in sort of a five-wave manner, be very, very careful. This can easily go back down to a lower low. This pushed the limits, pushed them a lot, and I'm very cautious on Ethereum right now. Very, very cautious. So if you look at this move, we just came up to a 618 and stopped. We're stopped in this vicinity. This bigger 618 comes across here. This one right here. So we're just stopped right in that resistance. Be careful. NKD pushing in. This is interesting. When I went to bed last night, this was red. It's turned green, pushing through. If we can hold this, it's indicating we may go on out. If this comes back below here, coming on back down. Watch this as a global liquidity indicator right there. And before we hit some of the movers of the day, let's go check out the setups. People say they like those, so let's go check them out. We had 10 of them that were set for an entry today. Which ones are the best? Let's take a look, see what we got. Pull up the statistics on the pattern. There's the buy. Got that high, we got that low. There's your buy. 213 targets, and this one failed. This one costs money to play, so I would be careful on that one. AR. Got the high, we've got the low. Setup entry today, 44.96. EPAC. This one didn't fire off this tool, but here's the high, here's the low. Fired it off right there, 49.12. Not the best one. There's the high, there's the low. Fired it off right there, 1720 targets. Don't like the statistics on most of these. KMPR. You got two different levels here. You got the immediate pullback, fired off industry for 72. You've got the bigger setup up here, which will fire off today, 75.88 target right there. You can take your pick on which one you're feeling frosty on. I would probably be more conservative and go for the tighter one right there with 75 or 72.59 target. LZ, that one fired off. There's the entry, 1135 targets. No history, so default history 75% of the time will work. We'll hit the target. 1.2 on a profit factor. MNSO, yeah, that one's not gonna. Big picture, not close to. I mean, we're close to the entry, but we got to get on up above 2190 for a 3060 target. This little pattern is what it actually found with the close here. Looking for a 2393 upside. Oust. Ooh, very choppy. Not my. The statistics say that this doesn't matter, but and I have an AI trying to learn the pattern, and it right now it says that the roadmap line and other stuff matters, but to me, my experience getting into trades that have the roadmap line looking like this might fail. There's the target, 1816. Be careful on low price stuff. Things at or below $10, right around $10, tend to fail, tend to not follow patterns. So be careful on the lower price stuff. RRC. Got the high, we've got the low. There's the entry, 42.94 targets. Not bad. 30 trades in the history, 75% profitable. 1.8. It's not, you know, when I talk about it, the ones that are my favorite, I like to see the ones that have more than 30 trades, have 80 more than 80% profitable, and then have a profit factor that's bigger than 2. Those are the ones I really like to get into. Like this one we've been sitting in for a few days now. MCD. 42 trades, 83% profitable, and a 2.3. But it's not been going anywhere, so we're just sitting there. And then PGR is another one. Come on now. $36 trades, 86% profitable, 2. And this one's just hanging also. So, hanging with the homies. TDY, 30.76, 2. Now this one looks better. Let's clear the charts. So there you go. There's 10 opportunities today. 537 upside. That one's probably the best one out of the. As far as ones I might take, TDY would be the best. And you're like, well, I can't buy a bunch of shares of this. I can't buy options of this. Well, buy one share, 400, $500, and the upside potential here is right there, 9% upside. Now, you got to make your choices though. All right, and maybe none of these are the ones you want to play. It's up to you. You got to make your own choice. Those are the ones that all fired off an entry on Friday. Looking for some other opportunities today. Let's go hit the Mag 7 stuff. Check on that. Back up to the top. Apple. Turning sour here. Remember what I said. This can turn sour. We're already bleeding off 20 points. Sour apple. It's a lower high. It's a setup for 1, 2, 3. Right there. Amazon. Right up to the danger zone. Right up to the top. We reject that. We can get a lower low. Right down there. Google. Lower high. Oh, thank you. Thank you. This is gonna give me an opportunity. I was gonna. So in this account, I was gonna sell a put on Google today. Probably somewhere around a 151, 152. If I get put to the shares, this is a bullish set. Like I am pretty bullish on this longer term, but right now we may get a pullback. I may get put those shares, and then it turns into opportunity for big upside. Meta. Right up to the top of the box. This is a Microsoft can't push through. I'm seeing danger warning lights every chart I pull up. This one right up to the upper downtrend of highs. Right up to the upper resistance and the 618 level right there. This is like danger times 2. Seeing a lot of caution lights here. Tesla pushed up through. We're at the bottom of the what I would call the danger zone here. Let's color that one red. I was talking about the fact it would pop up in this 380 zone. Probably retrace. If it can hold the roadmap line, that's bullish. If we break below it, bearish. All right, let's hit a few other things, see what's opportunities. Let's see. Got some messages from team members. Cool. Now, ServiceNow. In the danger zone. KLAC What a messy chart. Lower highs all the way across there. And we're just trying to poke through. And we're below the 618. Danger on that one. Restoration Hardware. Hey, Sled, you here? Did you hold on to that one? Back up where we were before earnings. GS. If this closes up here today, sets up the potential for that 717 area. Duolingo. I hit the target. Cha-ching. Watch for the next pullback there. Gives you a new opportunity. DE. There you go, 532. Little birdie told me you were holding those Restoration Hardware shares. Be careful, my man. Get out when you're profitable. ISRG. That's setting up a new pop right here. Getting above the 618. Upside 650. Let's see. Already talked about indexes. Costco, be careful. We're in that danger zone. And we're not showing bullish signs here. There's a gap down right there. This can lead to a downside. Lulu. Resistance right there. I do kind of expect this to pop through, get some continuation, and go on this bigger run to possibly 600 up here. Let's see, Royal Caribbean. Yeah, that one's firing off a next run, 299. Federal Express, resistance at the roadmap line. It's doing a lot better than UPS. UPS may be making a bottom, but I don't know. FedEx chart looks better. Let's see, NXPI at the resistance. Lots of stuff at the resistance. Marriott into the danger zone. SMH into the danger zone. ETN into the danger zone. Home Depot. Let's just clear this off. That looks like a 5 down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This move up right here. If we turn down from here, continuation lower. Now, in the same token, this could be an A, B, and this was the 5 down C, and this thing be done, and we're ripping out of here. So like, this is the hard part about what I do. Like, is that the move? That was the correction, and we're going higher. Or is this more of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we do a 3-wave retrace and continuation lower. So 2 potential paths, very different results. It's very much like the S&P 500 right now, as far as the chart goes. I actually lean a little, like, because of the size of this correction here, it actually looks more like that was an A, a B, and a C. On this, C went to the 1618, pushed it to extreme, and that actually, I would lean bullish on this chart. There's the possibility that it goes bearish, but we want to see this break through this zone right here. Continuation through this prior high. Extend on out. 458, 475, and potential to ping pong and go even higher right there. Possibly up to like 500. That looks pretty good on Home Depot, actually, for the upside. Adobe, it's found support here, but be careful. I think we're just consolidating before we do the next flush down. This chart looks best if we get a move down into the mid 200s and find a bottom there. And this is a long-term potential here, starting with this high all the way back here. Move down, lower high. This thing needs to finish up, and it may consolidate for several months, maybe well into the fall before we do the final flush out here. Could go lower, but need at least that final flush out. In our energy, going higher, hit the targets. That one was on the list, what, last week? Week before last? Friday, April 25th. Boom goes the dynamite. So that one, pow. And the target was 124. We got even higher. Beautiful. If you took that one, congratulations. Hilton Worldwide. Got the high, we got the low. This is the pattern, but it didn't kick off any of my algorithms because it took too long. 289. AVGO. Kicking it off. 274. Why I need to trigger the algorithms? Because it took too long. I have a time component to these. They're less likely to work out in a timely manner when they take a long time to set up. So it doesn't make them less valid. It just means they'll probably run a lot longer. 236, if we can get the close above. 236 upside. MA. Watch for a pullback here. This getting near the 600 target. And we're back to all-time high. Getting rejection. This could come back down before it pops on up. Right there. It's been in play for a few days. XLY. Into the danger zone there. 5 below. I am not sure if this is done or not on the downside, so I can make a case for going higher, and I can make a case for the fact we didn't finish the downside. Shopify. Into the danger zone. I personally am fascinated with this stock. I'm not sure why. That could be a 5 up. If we get, I will probably go into this one pretty good. If we get if we pull back and hold this 81, 82 area right here, I'm probably going to go in there pretty big. This is the same setup that I made 15,000% on back here, wherever it was. I think it was in 23. Yeah. Right in here. I made 15,000% when it popped up here. Same sort of setup. If we get this pullback right there. Probably look to do synthetic long stock for the massive potential upside right there. CRWD. That's, upside 49 right now. Let's see, TSM. God, everything's on this list today. Everything. Dave, out to targets. Watch for the pullback. Carvana. Ooh, come on. Target's just up there at 321. IWM we talked about. Lows. Trying to find a bottom. Snow. Oh, baby. Right up to the big downtrend of highs. If we can break through, the target is right up here at 300. I'm long snow. Looking for this to break out. DoorDash. I kicked it off. Retrace. 221 upside. Crocs. Man, look at that move. I did the short puts. Rocked it on the earnings. And I'll just wait for another opportunity or find something else. All right, this is getting a little out of hand here. UNP and resistance. Pharma. Top of the danger zone. This has a scary setup to do this. MSTR not moving. Right in that danger zone. I kind of expect us to do a 3-wave retrace before we can pop. 617 upside. Could it just pop? Sure. Is it likely? No. Keep it in mind. Visa upside 376. BST into the danger zone. Best Buy below the roadmap line. That's a big look at this. Nasty. Probably going lower on Best Buy. QLD. And that's an ultra. Charts don't always work on leverage stuff. Be careful. Ooh. Cool. There we go. Double leverage. Be careful. This can violently pull back and might come up shy of the upside target when QQQ actually goes higher high. AMD, I need a pullback. I'm expecting this to come on up into this zone right at the roadmap line, get a 618 retrace, and that's my entry point, similar to what I was talking about on Shopify. I will probably load up on this one for the potential upside. I did this on NVIDIA too, same exact pattern. At a time when almost nobody thought NVIDIA was about to rip. Right here. Bought shares right there. And that was a big rip. Now, as we know, it did a 10-for-1 split. So these prices aren't accurate right here. These prices over here. The price was 10 times more. So we're talking 140, 150, 160. That's what kind of prices we had. So I only bought a few shares right there. Because I historically don't have giant accounts. So looking for other opportunities. Health Beauty. Me and this stock. I'm glad I never bought that. Look at that. That might be taking it all the way back down. And was that the bubble pattern? Can we come back down? So watch for resistance at the roadmap line in the near term, and then we can take another spill down here. Arm. And up to the resistance at the roadmap line. If we poke through, we can go higher, but if we reject, probably going to come retest that support level down here. And if we get through it, we could go make a lower low. A lot of people don't expect that, but this chart move down, retrace, lower high, sets up the potential to come on down in these levels down here. PDD. It's Timu right there. Not being strong. That's a bunch of lower highs. Brinker International. Not really affected by this tariff news. Higher lows, lower highs. Watermelon seed squeeze. Be careful. Builder first source. Home builder is not looking too good still. We have the D.R. Horton. I saw this. Say, it's, I don't know who put it out. Somebody went through their data. Let's see if I can. I wonder where I put it. Yeah, I was looking for the original source and I didn't find it. So I found a chart that somebody else had and marked up, and I didn't want to put their marking up on my show here. They somewhere along the way they publish how many houses they're sitting on that are 6 months. They've been completed for 6 plus, over 6 months. They just on the latest earning or on the latest whatever announcement, I guess. Yeah, earnings was right there. That latest earnings, they hit the all-time high for the number of completed homes that have been sitting around for 6 months. All-time high. Higher than any, housing crisis, higher than any, the GFC, any, .com, these guys have been around for a while, building houses. They have the highest supply of 6-month-old, brand new 6-month-old unsold houses that they've ever had, ever. That's not exactly strong stuff right there, if you ask me. Yeah, these guys have been around since the 90s. We may see a major correction in housing. These guys moved into town. They've been doing a lot of, my engineering company's actually one of their vendors here in town. We can see this come all the way back down in here. This is a cautionary problem, I guess you might say. Here's the great financial crisis. They have more 6-month-old unsold houses now than they did when this happened. This is a problem brewing. And we can see, look at this. It takes us right back down to 618. Now, that 618 doesn't really matter. We'd be looking at from this low to this high, which puts us right in the same vicinity. Right back down here. Got to be careful here. Something. We're seeing builder's first source not looking strong. We're seeing nail showing a lot of weakness here. Look at nail on long scale. This thing just chops. Now this is a 3-month chart, so lots of room for nail to come on back down in the low 20s. Something's up. I read about that this weekend. I looked up. I tried to find charts that would that I could throw up, and I couldn't find anything that looked great. So there you go. Trump signing that executive order on drug prices. I guess holding a live conference right now. We'll see if that works out or not. I don't see. Can't remember. Excel. Trying to remember the XLB. That's materials. Come on. My shares. That's why I can't remember it. IHE. Well, that's not actually that bad right there. This might be hunting for a bottom here. I don't typically trade biotech and pharma. On the bottom here, that can lead to a big upside. It's actually not bad. That low, that high. Potential for that to be the bottom in place. Might have a little bit of short-term pain. 62 downside. If we got below 60, I would be out of this. That's $4 risk for potential. Pretty big upside there. $18 upside. If we got down to 62. If you bought in today, it'd be like a $16 upside. $4 risk. Or 40 risk. That's interesting. Might consider selling some puts on that. I'll have to look at the... It may not have any premium. And no weekly options either. Oh well. Dill coming up into resistance. Twilio coming up into resistance. Hymns. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Come on. I talked about buying this at 33. Come on, baby. We're looking for the double at 66. Yeah, come on. This thing is set to go up to 85. Right there. And if we get all the way to the target here, Hymns with a Z, which is the 2x leverage, could go all the way to 150%. This move right here, 100% basically was all I was looking for. Be conservative, but we could see this pop all the way up in here, 85, 150% gain. That'd be pretty rocking right there. Be careful on leverage, as I said before. Chart the underlying and apply it to the leverage chart. Target. I still think we have downside left on target. Resistance at the roadmap line. Shake Shack. Oh, nice reversal. Didn't do the head and shoulders. We just, shooting out of there. I guess maybe a little baby head and shoulders in there. Maybe that's what that was right there. Pull that right over there. Pull this right down here. So the net effect on that one is we could be approaching played out targets. Watch for a retrace. Right there. This is an Elliott wave reversal right here. This would be a 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. Yeah. Watch for this to play out right in there. May get a retrace off of that for Shake Shack. Now, it sets up the bigger potential to going up to 152. That's what this does. Pop up here and right like that. Take two. Probably coming back down to the roadmap line. Data dog. Resistance at the roadmap line. BA. Nice. Man, look at that reversal. This needs a retrace back down. Probably going to retest this zone. Once we get some sort of exhaustion here, we'll probably come back and retest this. If we hold there, that would be the point to go heavy. Reddit rejecting. I expect I'm going to go lower. Denar. Expect that one to go lower. In UE. Kind of expect that one to go lower. UAL. Nice. MCHP into the resistance. And that's got a long way to recover. Holy moly. So if this can stick this breakout here, if we can break through that prior high, I'm actually going to set an alert here because this is really juicy. We're looking at that move right there. Triple, possibly more. Possibly almost a 4xer. Kava has earnings coming up this week. This may revisit the lows here, but I am bullish on Kava after this big correction that I've been watching. This was the minimum for measured bounce right there. Sets up the upside to like 200 up here. This is a big picture measured bounce. Big picture. And we just clear all this stuff. Got this low, we got this high. Did this 50% retrace. Got that low, got this high. 3-point tool right there. That sets our target right up here. Yeah, even crazier. The wrong button. Even crazier. We do this low, this, or that, not high, that low. So we may see 200, but bigger picture. I come up here, retrace, move on up, retrace, and 5, 6, 4, 5, 6, 700. That's where that one's headed. This long term could take a few years to get there. I like that. I like that a lot. I sold puts on Kava for this week. Honeywell pushing through. If we can get the close above, we're looking at 253 up here. Let's see. Robinhood. Nice potential to going up to 75. PLTR. Still got the upside potential to 137. Nice reversal off of that pullback. Wrong word, that's what I was warning you about, my man. Like, sure, it had downside. Like, it did react negatively on earnings. You could have made a few bucks, but very quickly, this is still heading up to the target. Jody, good job playing the puts there. I was unsure about how the depth of the pullback. It could have come all the way back to the roadmap line. Still upside bias on that one. Dollar Tree still working on the. So this has the big upside potential here. 300. Long term. This is going to take a while. Tapestry. 96 upside. Man, it's like everything's on here today. I'm going to wrap this up. Got something else I got to do here in a little bit. Ukta resistance. 4. Probably got resistance right there. IBM. And not even finding any bullishness today. Starbucks. Hunting the bottom. Oh, I need to see this recover in a big way. Right now, we've got this move up off the lows. And a deep retrace. Stepped across the line. This is no continuation below it, but Stepped across it 1, 2, 3, 4 times. I really, really, really need to see this reverse if we're going bullish on this chart. Resistance right up in here. But the bigger picture potential takes this up into this 140 area where I've got all my alerts. I am long Starbucks. I need to see this pop back through, clear here, and get continuation up to that target. Bros, looks like we're going to bounce 95. Delta Airlines, big picture, probably going to 110. CarMax, hunting the bottom, probably might go lower. Ritchie Brothers. Yeah, that did the bounce. 110. As construction companies have trouble, go out of business, these guys potentially benefit like crazy because they take that construction equipment, auction it off, and they make their money on other people's woes. You know, banks take losses, but these guys still make their money. They make their 10% or 15% buyer's premium on every transaction. So it's a sign of a struggling economy, and this one may, if we keep having problems, may go higher. You know, don't believe Trump narrative. There's things we're going to have to work through. GitLab, sideways consolidation. On Semi, resistance at the roadmap line. Disney, watch out for the pullback. I still expect this to go lower. We're in a big downtrend here. And this didn't finish, all right? This move at the right here, we needed to go lower than that low right there to finish this up. Doing a big retrace, still have potential to go down. I could sit here and talk about these for like such a list today. Whew. WFC, but obviously, you know, looking at the attendance, we're dropping off pretty drastically, so probably should wrap this up. FTNT support here, upside 119. Where's the decliners? Decliners was, oh, there they are. ESLT, probably coming back to the roadmap line. Eli Lilly, get whacked a little bit on that Trump news. Netflix, probably going to come back to the roadmap line after hitting the target. ONC, GLD got whacked a bit. Eventually coming down to the roadmap line. Shiny, lots of gold stuff. Gold, gold, gold. SAP, Amgen, and more biotech, pharma. And NVS. That might be a bottom here. Although this looks like a watermelon seed squeeze. It could just mess around in here for the foreseeable future. GILD. Yeah, that looks like a bounce in place here. Here's the high, here's the low. We can get through this 618. 123 upside. T-Mobile getting hit. Watch for that to break down below the roadmap line. This looks like it might be played out for now. Bubble pattern. Good job in here and then break down. Come back down to the 150 area. Palladium. And not breaking out. All right. Bias for the day. I would be very careful here. Very, very, very careful. What could set off a correction? It might just start doing it for no apparent reason. This is looking played out. Be very careful. I would be booking lots of, I mean, we just went through dozens and dozens of charts that are at resistance. Book things that are profitable. Be careful out there. The account you save may be your own. Prepare what you can. We may not get a big pullback. Well, we may very well. I mean, we could pop a higher high. Could go whoop and then do the big pullback. But be careful out there. It's not about the why. Everybody loves the why. Everybody loves the story. The chart is the why. I'm telling you. I'll share more about that later in another episode. Have a great day, everybody. Be safe out there. We'll see you again.